I love this shot. The way it just opens up from light, just warmth, and how next thing you know, they just like everything's just in darkness. And you have like Lestat's little hand coming out of nowhere, to grab his phone. Amazing opening shot, honestly. We have him call himself the stutterer, the ape, what was the other one? The actor, the keeper, the tourist, but the way that the recluse, let me not forget that one, the rock star, but the way that he then, the nesting dolls of identity, that in itself is a book title. That's insane. The writing is insane. The fact that the episode started with creepy ass Alex outside the window. I love how the show just tells you straight up, like they don't even try to hide it, like bad shit will happen. But because of everything else, everything that we experience, you kind of just forget what's always been in plain sight. And that's what Armand does the best. But Alex is creepy behind, just out there being weird and stalkery. I'm again post vampire at this point, which you made them vampires and the album wasn't a hit. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Now I don't know who Merrick is. I didn't outside. Yeah, I don't know who Merrick is. But now that I'm rewatching, it's funny to see Mary Rick. Is that is that where they got Merrick from? Let me know in the comments. Is Merrick just the combination of her first and last name? Like, is it really that simple? But yeah, now that I'm rewatching it, I see that she's leaving him a message to ask him to reconsider, you know, what this request he's about to fulfill through her. And he has a look on his face like he's really considering that doing just what she's asking for. I think that is very interesting. You know, he has basically admitted he's doing this for Gabriella. It's sort of his goodbye gift to her. So again, I'm very happy to see that progress has been made, outside of the incest, which is insane to say. It is so insane to say. Outside of the incest, she's just a terrible person. And I would rather see the back of her perfectly coiffed bob walk off into the sunset. I am just done with her. But I am also happy to know that Lestat himself is done with her. She has provided nothing but drama, and she's not even hanging out with him. What's even the point? I never feel more poor than when I see sets like this. Might actually be somebody's home in New Orleans. I'm not sure, but this is beautiful. Like this is wealth. This is money. I think it's really funny when people are like, yeah, Louise the rich one. Like, Lestat's not broke. Like, Lestat is not hurting for money. Lestat is the one who helped, like, Louis kick off his first business enterprise. Now, what their bank accounts is looking like in 2026, 2025 per this show, I don't know. But I'm gonna need you guys to stop acting like my boy Lestat is out here with like a tin cup asking for money. But also, I love the color of just his home. Y'all, the scream I scrumped when Louise little behind, waddled into the scene cannot be described. Because I was like, Louis, why are you here? How did you get here? And obviously, he slept in the coffin with Lestat. Obviously. And I love that he slept in the coffin. And he's like, I don't even like coffins like that anymore because he's gotten used to sleeping in a bed with the gremlin. But he wanted to be with Lestat, so he slept in an uncomfortable place for someone that he loves because they love each other. I love these two terrible people so bad. These two monsters. I just and I saw them on my screen and I was like, Mommy, Daddy, and that says I just says a lot about me, but I love it. And I just love how immediately they start bickering like the old married couple they are. And that was the funniest shit ever, guys, because I was like, how did they even know? And I saw some behind the scenes, and that was just them being assholes towards Drake, which is my favorite game in the whole world, one of my favorite games. But umbrella of being a hater to Drake, they were just like, we were just fucking around. And Drake ended up dropping 50 songs, and I love that for them. I truly do. But yeah, I just love how look at Sam Reed's face as Lestat here. This is insane. He is so concerned about everything. He is concerned because he is sleeping with Louis again. He is concerned because he is summoning all the vampires to gather in one spot, which might like end his life. He's like stressed because he has invited Merrick for a seance. Like in this one night, there is so much he is doing, and it's all written on his face right here. I love this scene because this is how we started the season. It was Halloween when he discovered last that Louis had written a biography through Daniel. And I was like, oh man, he could have had a good Halloween. So I love that we've kind of come full circle and he gets to dress up as the Grim Reaper and hang out with his favorite boy on Halloween. I love that for him. Y'all, why is Lestat so goddamn dramatic? Like, and I feel like Louis knows exactly what's going on right now. Like Louis comes into the restaurant, kind of takes off his glasses, like I'm here, Mr. Pitt is here, and like Lestat is skulking in the background. Like, why is he so dramatic? I love it. I hope he never stops. But it's just like when you see this show in pieces like this, it's just so hilarious. Another thing that I love is he's supposed to be quote unquote dead, but everybody knows it's him. Everybody. Okay, guys, let's have a very serious talk about Mr. Daniel Malloy. But did they make him more cunty this season? Because I feel like his sass has like tipped over. And I don't know if that's because he's having a midlife crisis as a vampire. Maybe this Daniel, because he has been unfettered by the shackles of humanity, has just decided I'm gonna go from sass to cunt. Like I'm not quite sure, but he has been, and the thing is like he's been kind of mean. There's sassy funny, but like he's been sassy mean, where it doesn't even look like he's having fun. Season 2 Daniel had fun being like sassy. This Daniel just looks like he's been hanging out with Armand too long. That's honestly more what it is than anything. Like you just don't look like you are enjoying the afterlife, Daniel, and it's stressing me out. And also I spoke on this on the podcast. The language with Daniel has always been off. And this season as well, but this episode especially so. I don't know if there are some linguistic majors out there who have maybe identified what's happening, because this show is so smart in all of the ways that, like, I choose to believe there's something being done. Also, I'm just like, why is this sounding like it's written for a gay black man and not an older white man? It's weird. It's weird. They cannot stop looking at each other like they are not soulmates. I hate and I love it. Like, I want this without the toxic. Maybe a splash of toxic, not this amount of toxic, but I love this entire scene. I loved how they were just here on fleek, 20 out of 10. I love that we all immediately notice Daniel looking like a crab, but I was not ready for the dark undertones of this scene and how it just sort of carries to the end. Like, I was just like, yes, Vidal Sassoon, Lestat with the hair, yes. Louis with your little. I can just imagine them in their homes having like monogrammed L and L towels. I would love that genuinely for them. I hope that's canon. That's so weird. So he's drinking the blood of his distant relative? Why? How does that taste better? Good? I don't even know what words I'm looking for, but is this a take on the incest play? I don't know. I love the way Lestat looks like he wants to rip Daniel apart for bringing up Sophia. Just, he is really keeping it all in. He has grown. I am so proud of him. He has become such a better person, more restrained, calmer, because I know he's imagining Daniel in 5 parts. And I wonder if, like, Armand would just pop up out of nowhere if, like, Lestat actually meant to injure his Daniel. I love how supportive a man Louis has become for Lestat. Like, look at him. He's like, give them a little taste. He's like so happy that Lestat gets to do what Lestat wants to do, and that's be dramatic and perform and sing. And he loves that for him. Another one of my favorite things about this episode is just them having conversations about so many things that we've all gone crazy, being like, why don't they just speak? Like, please just have a conversation. And all this episode was all the conversations. The fact that this is the face Lestat makes when he says justice for Antoinette is ridiculous. Because I was actually gonna make, one of the many ideas I had was to make a video dedicated to Antoinette for being the dumbest bitch alive, because she really did let Lestat and Louis play in her face. But, you know, everyone has let Lestat and Louis play in their face. So him being like this team of one for Antoinette, who he was so mean to in life. It's hilarious. I appreciate Antoinette appreciates it wherever she's at right now. This here is another cool ass scene. I know the set designers were busy, booked, and exhausted by the time this episode finished, because it is just scene after scene, set after set, and just look at this. Again, I am very limited by words. I just know what I see, and I love the fullness of the darkness and just them coming through the doors, and you just have this regular man trying to do his job. It's so big yet so little. It's filled with darkness, but this little light, I'm assuming there the light comes through. Ah, is that symbolism? Why does the band look this deflated and dejected? What is happening? Everyone looks so sad. I'm sure if you listen to the podcast by now, you know how much I truly hate Gabrielle in all the ways. Love the actress, love the work she's doing with her. I think this is a very complex portrayal of an insane sociopathic woman. So, yay for that. I'm all for like screen having variety of women and complexity in the types of characters a femme presenting woman inhabits, but all that to say, I hate Gabrielle with every fiber of my being. This scene where she interacts with Louis, there was so much happening because she knows her relationship. He doesn't. And she is very wary of Louis' influence with Lestat. Y'all, what even is Jacob Anderson? What even is Louis with his my man piercing gaze towards Lestat? I kid you not when I say I'm just mesmerized between the acting and the writing in this show. What even is this show? And between Lestat's adoring gaze coupled with Lestat's worshipful gaze coupled with Louis' adoring gaze and Gabriella, Sophia, she's going to kill Louis. She's going to kill him and erase him from Lestat's existence. Yeah, oh my god, is Louis crying? Are those tears? No, if it was tears, it would look like blood, right? But like, I was like, is that? I don't know. Is he? Oh, he is really in it. What I love the most about this scene is the visual it compares to from season 2 when Armand was at the Theatre des Vampires and Louis was just so not interested in what was happening on stage or anything. Where, Santiago asks, "What are you to each other?" And he's like, "We're still figuring it out." In comparison to this scene where he's there for the most part. By the end, he's kind of bored and on his phone, but he's there. It's definitely a flip between a relationship that he's actually invested in and a relationship he's just there for. But no, absolute shout out to the staff for calling him out. Like, just because we're in love doesn't mean I'm not gonna call you out. This episode, especially when they're in the car, Sam Reed, hilarious. This scene where the Lamiel, messy Lamiel, but I appreciate him, sends the link to Daniel's story of Lestat having a relationship with his mother. And that just, because even for I was like, oh, everything's ruined. Thank God we had 30 minutes of joy because everything's ruined. I was very much Lestat visually at this moment as well because, how? How? And again, like, oof, just wonderful acting, wonderful. I just love how I've always speak on how I love how the best actors sort of not only use their body but use the scene to the advantage of their acting. And these two are masters of that. If someone asks for the messiest couple on this show, It would be so hard for me to explain to them if they do not watch it that it's the immortal ancient twink and the 70-year-old white guy from the East Coast. They're the messiest couple. Again, Lestat continues to go through it, and just an amazing performance by Sam Reed. And the way the scene just goes from this gray and darkness into these warm tones after like Louis is just like, okay, my bad. We're gonna draw the line here. We are in fact both monsters. We have another words. We have another gorgeous set piece with the introduction of Merrick. Just stunning. The architecture, the lamps, modern day, like, I'm a witch, but I don't need candles. I just need lights. And on the floor, the circle of salt drawn to contain whatever spirit she summons. It's very much giving futuristic witch. Very much in the same way Louis is a capitalistic vampire. The way the two of them refuse to be more than a feet apart from each other at all times, except when they're arguing. Then they give each other a little bit more space. But just their bond, it's if you watch Dan May, you're very much aware of the significance of the red string of faith, and that is these two. I wonder if her calling out how close they were and it being a jinx is a sign for us that they can't be, I'm gonna cry. They can't be together for long. They do jinx each other. I refuse to believe that. They do jinx each other whenever they are together, so they must stay apart. Oh, I don't like that. I hope that's not what that's pointing to. I really liked how they played this scene. It's almost like she's conversing to someone or with someone, negotiating to bring Claudia out or to find, basically, like she's using an astral plane yellow book to find Claudia. This is the most concerned we've seen Louis this entire episode. Merrick does a fantastic job portraying the possession of Claudia. She comes down at first, she's not able to see, I'm assuming. She, like, how would that work? Claudia's there, but she can't see them yet. But she can speak to them. And yeah, just masterful acting. To Delaney Hales, because she did a fantastic job in this scene with this monologue portraying Claudia. I kind of do wonder, okay, so Merrick called her, and then we kind of just see her transparency here amongst everything while Merrick is knocked out. And she's able to speak to Louis and Lestat, like, face to face. That is insane. I mean, visually, I'm enamored. Here's a character we haven't seen in... I mean, we see her almost every episode and every season, it feels like. She's such a heavy topic and a part of the show. And she's here. And she's angry. And she's grieving. But she's permeable. She no longer exists. Like, how do you reconcile that? That must be such a great character for Delaney to have, like, tried to figure out just how to play her. And FYI, this profile is the profile they put on statues that last for centuries and millennia. Because that is Jacob Anderson. But yes, outside of me lusting over Jacob Anderson, the scene is amazing. It's Louis in his own darkness over Claudia. I think I got that. I hate how this show constantly lulls me into a false sense of comfort, because we've been here so many times in the past. Louis and Lestat on a bench in a park. You know, someone's walking by the moon. in the distance. It's stars in the sky. It's perfection. The moment and the scene. There's nothing to complain about. Nothing is wrong. And again, like this show loves to do, I remembered I'm watching a horror movie as Lestat notices Alex out of the corner of his eye, continuing to be creepy. Like, this has been such a long episode of so many things happening that by the time Alex pops up, I'm like, oh, we're dealing with this too. We're dealing with this too. We're dealing with Alex stalking Lestat at night on behalf of Armand. We're dealing with Alex probably mourning the loss of his brother whom Armand killed for reasons. And there's Alex just there in the darkness, a little moonlight light behind him. You know, there's just something. It's a different moonlight behind him compared to the moonlight behind Louis and Lestat. And I don't even think I can show that scene, so I will not. But their heads, how do you say this word? Hopefully this is correct. Guaranteed off. Like, how did they know they would look to their left and be distracted long enough by Alex? And I say, how did they? Because of course it's Armand and Daniel. But what is happening? Daniel, a little bullying does not account for all of this. This are not equal responses. But this would seem like an equal response if you started dating Armand. So this is going to be a problem. We need to resolve this problem. And, thankfully we remember, because Lestat never stops saying it every 5 minutes, that he has the blood of Akasha. He can survive minutes after being decapitated, but that's assuming. Like, what is happening? What is happening? So much happened this episode. Sophia, Gabriella, Claudia, the news of Lestat having incestuous relationship with his mom, Louis dealing with, his questions and relationships with Lestat. So much existential talk, which I am always here for. Just for these two naughty kids to come along by the end of it. For what? For what? What are you guys up to? You guys are so bad. I just want to put you over my knee. Just, but masterful all around. That we end on this shot. I love whatever's happening with Daniel's hair. Daniel is over it. Daniel is easily influenced. You know what? I just find I just find the both of them just so shenanigan coded, but they're monsters and they're evil, and obviously I love Lestat and Louis, so Lestat and Louis cannot die, but what are you doing, Armand? Because I refuse to believe Armand is just out here because he cares about overpopulation from vampires. So what is the end goal? And then just that one single light behind them. No moon. They don't even get a moon. Alex got a moon. Lestat and Louis got a moon. They don't even get a moon. What does that mean? They are just in complete darkness, no hope, nothing. Nothing. But yeah, just such a fantastic episode, especially on such a visual level. I am looking forward to watching it again and again and again. And just here for it all. Just wonderful acting, wonderful set pieces, wonderful writing. No complaints. Give them all the awards. I don't care if they do. They don't need their validation or whatever the powers that be's validation. They have mine, and that's all that matters. So thank you. That is it for this visual breakdown of the Vampire Lestat Season 1, Episode 6, Montreal. Make sure you guys please press like. Please press subscribe if you are not subscribed. Also check out the podcast. The link is in, the show notes and the information thingy. We cover and break down this show so much more extensively. And there's also the Patreon. Bunch of other stuff is over there you guys can enjoy. And yeah, that's it. We've got one episode left, and then I'll probably start my cycle where I obsessively rewatch this show for a bit. I'm looking forward to that. And we have the finale next week where Sam Reed has said it's going to be so horror filled, and it's like the most horror they've ever done. So now I'm stressed. But yeah, I'm shocked in all the ways that it's only one episode left. I'm kind of sad about that. But I'm looking to see where they leave us. So yeah, that's it. We'll come back. We'll talk about the finale. Let me know what you guys think about the insanity that was this episode and just this season so far. Again, thank you and bye.